All
All
right,
right. Yo, welcome to another live stream with your internet stepdaddy, your boy Victor Vincian. And I got the lovely Ashley Marie. And tonight we have a guest, Mr. Re-Up. This is the space
on the
where
internet.
you find your man the right way because you're dealing with a stepdaddy because I'm a step ahead of the daddy you never had, you know? And that's going to be evident by the time you get involved in this conversation. So welcome to the conversation. What's going on, Ashley? What's up, Reese? How y'all doing?
What's
Man, what's up?
happening?
What's up? What's up, man?
Yo, long time no see, but in due time is always the right time, ain't it?
Yes.
You know it.
So
What this
tonight,
been like 15 years in the making?
yeah, it's been
Both
about that, bro.
2006, 2005.
Yeah, like it's like I ain't have no hair then. I had a low haircut when the last time we seen each other in person. That's crazy, right?
No, nigga, you still had a boss. You ain't had a boss in so long.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, and
So
look, we had lunch. We don't have lunch in Iraq, bro. Come on, man.
yeah, man. Like the amount of stories that go on that can happen in a 30-minute span of time between me and everybody on this panel, but between me and this guy right here, the stuff that we've seen, the people that we know, it's a lot of game on
The
this screen
prisons,
right
the prisons we've been in.
now. just
Oh,
just wild. You wouldn't even understand it, man. Like it's a movie. So, man, this this happening. This is happening right now on this pod and this platform. And tonight's episode about the internet stepdaddy is all about men that step up, but you got to have something to step with. Because like we got to reframe and rebrand what the stepdaddy actually is. Because in the past, it made it sound like he was a stepping stone, made it sound like he was a placeholder, made it sound like he was a consolation. Everybody
Him,
settles for a
him
stepdaddy,
downstairs. Him
him downstairs.
downstairs.
You know what I'm saying? Getting
Yeah.
stepped on. But I
My
think
mama
this.
said I could. So my mama said I could. So
Yeah.
that part. Yep.
So
you ain't my daddy.
and,
Yep.
and then Ashley came into this space with me, and this whole concept has just been materializing, and she's had a very, very good hand and a first-hand experience with what's taking place on this camera right now. And I just feel like it'll be a good time for us to have a conversation that helps shape why women should trust the internet stepdaddy and the
Yeah.
You got to run
concept.
it.
Yeah. So,
We got
so
Shane. He's over here. Yo, yo. What's up, Shane?
yeah. Come on in, man.
Oh, somebody said, can you say something for me?
Hey, what do you need me to say?
Yeah, like what do you need us to
You
what you
sliding
what
through
you
the city,
asking
ain't
about?
you?
We got eyes on us tonight.
Yeah, look
Nigga
at
say he
you.
outside.
You
He'll
showing
call
up.
my phone.
So this is it's gonna be a good episode,
Look, we
man.
just stay out all night.
Um
Just take donuts home like I do. My
so
bad, bro.
so
Let
the
me be
uh
professional
the conversation tonight, I want
on the podcast.
I would love for Ashley and Reese to, what I'm saying, have a conversation about where I started, where we are, because I think that it's gonna make more sense for everyone. So
I met you in November, November 2nd to be exact. Yes. It was in that time span, okay? Your girl's moving to Texas next month, all right? So I haven't announced it until now publicly, and I'm so excited. I have gotten currency increased, my mindset, my discipline. I've attracted masculine men. I am dating and loving it.
yeah.
I know who I am, and I have definitions that aren't illusory, but actuality, reality. Okay. And yeah, I'm just living life to the greatest that I could possibly do that, and I'm partnering with Coach here, and my life has completely changed. If anybody is doubting his ability to direct you and guide you and give you the game of life and to men, And it just, even for men, if you guys want, coaching and direction for your own sake, he's the guy. He's the GOAT. He's the next Malcolm X, y'all. The next Marcus Garvey. Like, he is that incredibly impactful, and he is really a legend. So that's my experience with Coach, and it's been all abundance all the way around. Not even really hard. Can I say that too? Because coaching, sometimes people get like, oh, it's going to be a difficult process. It's not difficult when you're ready. Okay, when the student's ready, the teacher's gonna show up.
Come on now, look, that's what we like right there. I appreciate that, because it's only so much you can say about yourself. Other people got to start mentioning your name in different rooms, and sometimes we got to be proud of overcoming certain obstacles in our life, because nobody loves a loser but a loser's mama. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you need to have people that can speak for you. You know what I'm saying, the right way, and that's why, like, when people show up, you get them their flowers. You know what I'm saying? So, like, people overcome a lot of different things, and the celebration is few in most cases. So I'm gonna let Reese do some talking, man, because he embodies everything that you know what I'm saying, that the stepdaddy mentality, you know what I'm saying, that I'm talking about. He knows me, so let's go, man. What's up with you, Reese?
Very, very good, man. Good, man. Glad to be a part of your situation, bro.
Yeah.
Uh, just consistent. I met Vic in 2005, right? I don't know. Were you coming back from Iraq or headed to Iraq?
It was late 06. That's what it was, because it was
It
about
was
to get.
'06,
Yeah,
going into '07.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. And we just hit it right off. Like, I had a motorcycle shop right outside of Fort Hood. He wanted some stuff done to his bike. He came. He already had a plan. Matter of fact, he already had the parts. He just needed it installed. And so right away, then, me just being a military like brat, I already knew that he was either, intel or some sort of, and what you know what I mean? So you're smart, so we can have conversation and shit. He had rental properties back then. That was '06. Everybody else that was running around with us was driving other people's cars and pretending, you know, that it was their cars while other niggas was on deployment. Remember Avery?
All cap.
Yeah, Avery, cap
Yeah.
ass Avery. He still do the same. He still do that same broke nigga shit, bro.
Yeah,
You
man.
gotta excuse me, Ashley. I don't be pulling no punches.
Feel
On no,
free.
Yeah,
for,
Feel
got
I
free.
mean,
you.
I'm
that's
from
just
New
me, my
York. You don't
personality.
have to. You don't have to do that. I'm
So
from New York.
I'm
Yeah.
from I'm from Crown Heights.
Really? I'm in
I'm
Brooklyn
from
right now,
Brooklyn.
East Flatbush.
I'm from President. I'm off President and between Utica and Rochester.
What? You're here now?
No. I'm in Georgia right now, but
Oh, okay.
after I usually be out of the country. I live in Barbados now.
Well, excuse me. I love that for you. Good for you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but when I met Vic, he was already about business. He was handling business, and we don't talk probably what, bro, like once every year and a half.
Man, it seemed like we talked this past year. We probably talked like once a quarter almost, because it's so much information that we have to download to catch up, because you've
Man,
been
signal
moving
shit.
around a lot, and we just been trying to get in sync, because like he working on his mastermind, what I'm saying, ventures, as well as me. So it's just a matter of, we just too busy men,
Oh, his service is cutting up.
Yeah. Hey,
You Ron?
Once we get,
what's up? You want me to pull
but
you off? Oh, there you go.
one thing I can say about Vic is consistency.
Period.
Because really, what you can't find men that can properly edify other men, because it'll be like hating or that, you know what I mean? Vic know me. I've been rich ever since he know me in real life. Like, I had my own drink in the club when we met. So, and Vic's never had to borrow nothing. He never had to ask for nothing. He never had to use nothing. He always had his own shit. You know what I mean? Grown man. He had a yellow truck, man. I wanted that truck so bad. Man, that truck was hard. But anyway, Vic's always been a stand-up guy. He's always been a stand-up dude. I've never seen him mistreat women. Right? I was there prior to. He know a situation I'll talk about. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? In depth. So he's definitely the godfather of this fucking genre right here. Can't nobody tell that nigga shit about dealing with it or how to handle it because I remember him pre-situation and post-situation. And he handled both eloquently. He was honorable on both sides of the ball. And I did the same thing. I just got bred, so I was able to just move my kids' biological dads out the way. That's the
Mhm.
best way to do it. If they just raggedy niggas, it's the best way to just move them out the way
Yeah.
and then just give the daughters what they need and they call you dad and got your last name and that's is what it
Period.
is. But when you gotta
Period.
when you gotta deal with another man and your children and you're a super alpha, it ain't gonna work out.
Right.
No.
No.
Because you're gonna have to dumb yourself down at some point. I'm not interacting with you, nigga. I'm not doing no baby swap.
Right.
Me and you ain't got no business. Matter of fact, the kids are old enough to fly by themselves. I'm gonna pay the extra money so they have a liaison in the airport. Bitch, you ain't even gotta pick them up. I can get them. I can put us in a car for them. I can have a nigga in the back behind them with guns if I need be to make sure that she's safe, bro. Type shit. So when he saw I was moving like that, like they just moved out of the way, which is usually the best scenario. But if you
Right.
got to coexist, man, that's a weird. I mean, I haven't seen it like go good yet without one of the niggas looking like a cup.
Yeah. Yeah. It ain't an easy situation, and I don't know if that conversation is being had the right way. You know what I'm saying? Amongst men that are really honorable. We got too many of the wrong men having a conversation about stuff that they're not even qualified to do. So I think that it's important to highlight men with experience, that need to lead this conversation because expectations need to be reset across the board. This year is getting ready to close out, and we've seen some, what I'm saying, some strange revelations in everybody's personal lives. They seen something happening, like last year we got reconnected, what I'm saying, in December, matter of fact, like a year, almost a year to the date, because it was before Christmas, and we were talking about the revelation of the pattern of like the sexual discipline piece and where women fit into that in our lives, and like the mothers that raise the men that have the problems that they have, and the women that they produce, and all of that, man. And we're just in an age now where we got so many communication tools, and everybody's coming to the same level of consciousness right now at the same
Yeah.
time, and they want better. You know what I'm saying? They want to cash in on their experience. We got all this knowledge, but how you gonna make it make sense if you're not really the
Right.
step? You
Mhm.
got the step. You know what I'm saying? You got the step, and you got to be
Correct.
a dad about your situation. You know what I'm saying? So, you everything, whether you got kids involved or not, you need to treat it like you're the daddy. You know what I'm saying? You got to father and marshal everything that you do as if you birthed the situation, because whether you did or not, you still got to deal with it. Every man has to step up and take ownership of their circumstances. You might be a victim of circumstance,
Mhm.
See
but
what's going on right now, bro, huh?
yeah, you might be a victim of circumstance, but it's up to you to step and take ownership of your circumstances and change
Right.
the outcomes.
Mhm.
And part of doing that, when you step, you got to say no to some things and yes to others, and things you're gonna have to do that nobody can really, what I'm saying, feel those take those steps for you. So everything you do as a man requires you to have to step forward, no matter how you slice it. And I think it's just time for men to step in that right direction, to separate ourselves from the noise. And men, we can't tell women how they should move if we're not willing to take the steps to separate us from them so they can see the difference. Is it not the same thing when we talk to women when they say y'all the real feminine women are standing too close to the wrong women, so we can't tell the difference?
Yep. Yeah.
So I think that what I'm attempting to do, or not even what I'm attempting to do, what I'm manifesting and what I'm showing other people is that there are women that respect men. And the women that's complaining about a lack of protection is because you can't accept correction, and therefore ain't nobody pulling up for your protection. It's just the way it goes, you know.
And
Correct.
they're usually dangerous in their own right. So they create chaos and then they expect someone else to put out their fire. No, man, that's not how you work. You have to be safe. You have to also be proactive for your own right. You're not a fucking baby. I think women like to still be dependent in that sense. And then, so I'm an
Right.
independent woman when someone's trying to correct you, but then be a baby in terms of I don't have protection. You create chaos. No, you can't get it both ways, ma'am.
No, not in the least bit, man. You know, and
She definitely had her dad in her life.
yeah. Hey, you can tell. Look, Ashley, what did I tell you?
But,
Men can tell that. Men
Yeah.
can tell it. The lady.
but you know why I say that? Because she sounds like one of my daughters. That I'm the stepdaddy to.
Yeah, come on, man.
Right? They speak with the same authority because I had them since they was little.
Right.
He didn't get to fuck them up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like it's up to real men can't be shamed for being leaders.
Right.
Yeah.
All of this red pill rage and these suckers that's having these weak ass conversations that don't have no solutions attached to them. Women, stop listening to them. Stop listening to them. Everybody made some mistakes. Everybody's got to deal with the circumstances that they got to work with every day. Do you want a solution? And if you want to have better outcomes with men, then you need to stop listening to single women.
For real. Look, prime example. My little brother's driving right now. We at the shop. He had a little situation earlier, and both the niggas at the shop telling him what to do with his situation, and both of them single. Both of them, matter of fact, one going through a divorce, and one never even had a chick before.
Insane.
Ne-
Like,
Never had a real relationship. So how you gonna tell this man that he married and got four kids, two that don't live at home, and three that you know what I mean? Like that's who
Right.
want to run in and tell you when your single girlfriend had never had a dude since 11th grade, when she was halfway decent looking, when she finally gets something, she running and tell it's like, yeah, I've been like this. No, you somebody just settled for you.
yeah, yeah.
That's what happened. You are wore out. That thing about retired. So I don't know, man. If y'all gonna want me
Right.
on y'all platform,
No,
because
no,
I'm
you need to
gonna
be
talk
here.
shit. I'm gonna talk
No,
shit.
no,
Go
My
ahead.
come
mom,
on.
I just found out that my dad ain't my dad, so we can start there.
Yeah, let's get into it, man. Cause
Get
like
into it.
I'm
when
40. I'm 40 in Barbados, and find out through my wife calls me, who's fabulous by the way. She calls me and says, "Hey, did you no?" So Christy and my dad, and Christy and my aunt, my wife's Christy, and my aunt are talking on the phone, and so she says, my aunt says, how's Maurice doing? And she's like, oh, he's out of town. I would think I was in Barbados at the time. I was. And she was like, that boy always going somewhere. He's so strong, just like his dad. You wouldn't be able to tell that that's not his real father. So my
Mhm.
wife's like, what you mean? Like, I look like him. I hoop like him. I sound, you know what I mean? Like, this is my dude. Been my dude the whole time. I'm 40 years old when I find 40, not 14, 40. So I've been bragging about this nigga being my pops my whole entire life, right? She says, "What do you mean?" So she's like, "Oh, you gotta ask Danielle. That's my mom." So Christy calls and says, "Hey, I was talking to Trish, and she said that Maurice's dad isn't his biological father. Thomas Johnson is not his biological father." And my mom's response was, "Where did you hear that?"
Not
Boy.
no, but oh man.
Thanks, bitch. You just told me what I needed. I mean, thanks, lady. You just told me what I needed to know. But at that point, at that moment, it was thanks, bitch.
Right. To be
Because,
honest.
because this is why, Vic. So my first spinal surgery before I got paralyzed, I had a medical exam, and they asked me what did I have any aversions to the use of anesthesia on either side, maternal or parent or paternal. So I said no, right? I asked my mom, no. I casually asked my pops, like, hey man, y'all ain't got no diabetes, nothing like that right there, right? Nothing, boom, 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 whatever. Any bloodborne things, anything cool? Like, nope, 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 cool. I didn't really, he didn't really dig as to why. Maybe he thought it was a general question about his health because that's my pops. So I'm filling out my paperwork because I'm about to go have a second surgery. So I called my mom again and I asked her again, hey, I'm not no anesthesia, I'm good. Because some people also have an aversion to the mesh. When surgeries are as extensive as mine was, we'll get into that at some point, but they have to put mesh across things to like hold shit in place that they chopped up and cut out. And so this is serious business. She tells me, oh no, did you talk to your dad? I said, yeah. He said no. I said, okay, cool. She didn't say the real nigga might be having some aversions to anesthesia. So my dumb ass filled out my paperwork, went on and had my second surgery. Now I have no bowel or bladder function. No bowel or bladder function because she didn't want to tell me.
Wait, you broke up for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah. Say that last part again. She didn't want to tell you who your pops was.
I said she didn't want to tell me who my pops was because she didn't want to make herself seem out there.
Wow.
Because it's crazy. Like the biggest stain a female can have is to not know who her child's father is. That's like ill kind of, you know what I mean? But no,
Yeah.
it's not. Not when you're 19 and freshly deployed to Germany. My mom was active duty, right? So she's partying and Ramstein and Mildenhall.
You breaking
This
up
is
again.
disco fever. They partying, right? Them niggas is doing cocaine. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah. We I heard Ramstein. I think.
I got to turn the Wi-Fi on. Right, but I'm saying my mom at 19, when I was conceived, is a young soldier going from base to base. They're partying, right? This is Germany in the 70s, late 70s. I'm an
Okay.
80s baby, right? So all she had to do was keep it a bean. I still had two fabulous fathers, right? I had a good stepdad. So I miss out. So what's gonna be no trauma where I come from? I still come from this nigga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
still solid. This is still my pops. Like been my, I can't undo that nigga been holding me down for 40 years.
Right.
right.
It's not his fault. It was easy to stepdad me because I've been paying bills and mortgages since I was 16. That had nothing to do with him.
Hmm.
So all I needed was a little guidance all the way. You know what I mean? I just needed hey, I'm about to make this move, pop. He'd be like, because of who he is and where he work at, which we won't discuss, but Vic knows personally. He'll tell
Yeah,
me, hey, hold back on that, son. Don't board that flight. This
yeah,
right. So he that
yeah,
type nigga. So I'm connected from the Pentagon to the penitentiary.
Wow.
yeah.
So I've always just needed a little like Vic's my dog. I was civilian while he was still active duty, and I flew over to Iraq to kick it with him, and we had lunch
That's the
in
truth.
Iraq. In Iraq, as a civilian, I pulled up on my nigga. We ate at the DFAT, chopped it up, and then I flew back. And then I flew back to my 5-bedroom, 2-story
Word.
villa in Kuwait.
Listen.
Yep.
That's
So
life.
Vic, we got this is a real edified relationship right here. Vic tell me the house on fire, I ain't even looking back. We out of this motherfucker.
Yeah.
When I called him last year and I told him I was gonna take Barbados over, brick by brick, he already knew I was not bullshitting.
Yeah.
Yep. We got somewhere to
Now,
be.
now I'm curating a Special Olympics for Barbados in a building that I just closed on.
Woo! That's
But I'm
exciting.
not. But I got 1,000 followers on Instagram though.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Most people that are in power are moving silently
and
anyway.
and and I raised somebody else's kids,
Yeah. So
and
hey.
and 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 I still got to give my second baby mama $52,400 by February. But you have to be able to do that to play this game. Even when I was locked up in Kuwait, I was still paying my child support. Ain't nobody missed nothing. My son had dirt bikes and shit for Christmas while I was locked up because my shit was in order, right? So
Yeah.
you gotta be able to step in and solve the problem. Men, real men, sexually disciplined men are problem solvers
Yeah.
because I can solve any problem without jeopardizing my integrity by any mean. And the only strongest mean is what? Vagina.
Yep.
Man, what
Yep.
happened, bro, man, bro, she had a fat old ass. Do you understand how much vaginas I could be playing with if I wanted to? I mean, it's like it would be sickening. It's be unfair, right? It's be unfair because now real niggas are so rare. All I gotta do is pull up. But then when I pull up with sexual discipline and I'm loyal to my old lady, and she been with me 4 years after paralysis and still don't gotta pay no bills. You take what I'm saying? And we got a bar overseas, and she, you know what I mean? Like, both the daughters are on the dean's list at different colleges at different times,
That's so good.
right? Stay in the dorms that you don't got to leave for the summer or the winter. You can just, they're your shit. That's your
That's
shit.
so, yes.
New vehicle. Like, her dad can't look over the fence over here. Why would you want to do that? You're going to hurt your feelings, buddy. But that has nothing to do with him. If he wanted to be a dad, he would be. If I wanted to deal with what I had to deal with to stay with my ex-wife, I would have done that as well. But the gentleman in between you and I knows why the fuck I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause that bitch was crazy.
Crazy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two babies. They had their own last their street was their last name. Vic been
Wow.
over there. You met me over there on your bike before, bro. Sassy Lane.
Yeah. 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 Stasny.
Amanda's uncle, who's deceased now, got arrested there, even though he called me a nigger to my face. After I had two babies with their family, he called me a nigger to my face. But then when he was dying from Huntington's and Parkinson's, I was the one going over there cutting his hair, giving him baths, getting him
Wow.
sweatsuits, right? Paying his bills. I'm writing checks out of this man's checkbook, and I'm on the outs. I'm the black dude that has a baby with the Italian family, and I'm coming over writing checks out of this man's checkbook. Because don't forget, Vic, that nigga was the treasurer for Bell County.
Yep.
Her uncle signed the unemployment checks, Ashley. I am an extremely high value man, and I'm only dealing with a high valued bitch. Even if they're not of strong moral value, which the second one wasn't. Not no offense to her, she cool as fuck, but she just a nigga. She just she's a white nigga. Vic no. If I look,
Oh my God.
if it wouldn't create conflict, I could put my daughter's mom on here because she be with this messy shit, but she couldn't deny anything I'm saying.
Yeah. You can't refute outcomes.
The children would have been better off had they been raised. She has to say that. My son, who was taken from me at 5, and he didn't come visit me at my house until 19, when he walked in my door, what'd he say, Benji?
Damn.
When he walked in the front door of my house for the first time, I picked him up from the airport. That man looked up and nigga said, God damn, Pop. Mom said you was a bum ass nigga. You know what I replied? That's your dumb ass fault for believing her. You could have been up in here.
Yeah.
All up in here. Right? But your mom used you against me like they all be doing. She
That
offered
part.
me Vic, you remember when she was like linking up with Reggie, the nigga on the Yamaha had a rundown with the pistol? You remember him?
Yeah. 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 Like a.
She done met some they met and they riding around and hanging out, and this nigga knows me. The Reggie nigga knows me personally. Just had court and lost my mind you.
He's breaking up.
I got a big up to. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Got you.
So we never get with
Reggie over there trying to bump the stream. He don't want you to tell that story, whatever that is. I definitely remember, man. We got some stories, man. Like
Yeah.
where men have a bunch of other responsibilities. Come on back, Reese. Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
we got you.
Yeah.
We're going through a little patch, right? Where we at? Fulton? Where we going in the city?
You
Anyway,
good?
listen, you know where we're going. So what was I saying? You got to tell me. You know, I have
Reggie,
a syrinx.
Reggie had the pistol on
Okay, no. Yeah, I had to put the pistol on that hoe ass nigga. Anyway, listen. So, but listen to how he violated though. This is supposed to be my boy. You know what I mean? I got this nigga. He packing up and down the highway. For those that don't know. So
him.
you know what I mean. So this my guy. Like I done looked out for him. At one point, the Hell's Angels had him on a hit list, and I picked up the phone to slow that down because Hell's Angels run Central Texas. For those that don't know.
Yeah.
Ain't no niggas running nothing around there. So I don't everybody be thinking they running shit. They're not.
They're
Okay.
not.
So anyways, he knows my situation with my son. I just lost him. Woo, 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 woo. How about my daughter's mom? I mean my son's mom. So first of all, she has a master's degree in human resources, family science. And she works for the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. My son's mom works for child support. So just imagine what she did to me. Her friends, her colleagues in her office used to call me, Vic, on from private cell phones, and
Yeah.
my wife now can attest to this. They would call me, "Hey, Rhea, yeah, nigga, you know you finna get that default judgment, nigga. Yeah, we want 20,000 by Friday, nigga.
They don't know these
On my
stories.
children, bro. On my children, bro."
You know what I'm getting from this is it's
Vonda
so
asked me one time to trade my car, Vic. Remember that Monte Carlo I had?
Yep.
She told me if I gave her that car, she would take me off child support, my nigga. Swear to God. And my son he heard the conversation. She got 3 felonies, bro. I had real crazy. Like she had discharge of a firearm near a domicile, terroristic threat, and unlawful discharge of a firearm with my son in the car, and still kept her government job, bro. And I'm still on child support, and he's 21 years old. But I just got to keep sending it over there, or they'll try to fuck with my passport. Of course, I could just call Pop, but why I got to do that though? Why am
here's
I
the
still on child support and you get $900? Like, all my babies get like $900 some dollars from Social Security because I'm considered catastrophically injured by Social Security, the Department of Veteran Administration. Everybody knows I'm fucked up. So, and they still want to stress me out, and they still can't. They still can't beat me, Vic.
Against our lives, man.
Vic,
well, what I'm getting
he's
from him is it's important
all.
to choose the right woman. It's really important to choose the right woman
Look,
because she's gonna do
that's
it.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Consider that, and everybody that's watching, just consider that that's just that's what a little bit of what I got going on. Just like a little bit of what I got going on. But I'm
Ain't
happy
nothing
to be
with
here
that.
though.
Hell yeah. Man, look. Ashley, what you was about to say?
Yeah, I mean the whole time I'm just like, what? Like, and then just thinking about he's talking about his mom and her deception, and then he's talking about his relationship prior to the one he's in. It just sounds like, again, these women. It stems from from the mothers, really. You know what I mean?
Come on
And
now.
choosing the right woman is so key, especially a man of power and wealth. Listen, it's really, really important. Really, really important.
And
Really important.
and then when Reese and I got reacquainted or
You
caught
said you
up,
said you said you said a man. You said a man of what?
Power and wealth. It's very important for him to have the right woman by his side.
and he over there flexing in the Maybach. He out of control, man. Yo, it's like, but when we got reacquainted last year, Reese, and you remember that
Do you
conversation?
have any Grateful Paul? Do you have any Grateful Paul?
Yeah.
It's the
Yo,
only person I need with me, man. My little bro. We finna get it together. I ain't no new niggas, man.
yeah, we all
But
out,
yeah, I'm
you
listening.
know.
Yeah, when we reconnected, go ahead.
Yeah, when we reconnected, and then we got to the point where we could talk about the sexual discipline like schematic, right? And that helped you deconstruct what took place in your life when you broke that down. And then he's the person that if it don't make sense, he the one that's gonna push back because he understands, like exactly what it is. And when by the time that I brought it to him, there was like no point of correction. And then yeah, it was like the light went off. It was that missing piece that what I'm saying that completed the entire puzzle.
Bro, let
And
me tell you something. When we had that conversation, Vic, that really catapulted me. So this property I've been in Barbados, I've been having for like 10 years, right? When I went for my grandma's funeral, I'm riding around, I'm seeing all this opportunity, and none of you niggas got no money. So I just grabbed some acres just on a humbug. Cause I'm like, I told my stepdad, the one at the Pentagon, I told him, I said, hey Pop, I'm gonna get something. I know nobody else ain't moving like we're moving, but I'm just gonna get something, and then later on, we can build something together. Cause I still consider him a father too.
mm-hmm,
You see what I'm saying? He's dope as fuck. Like I talk to him every single day too. I got two coaches. I got an offensive coach and I got a defensive coach. That's how I look at it because I'm an athlete.
yeah,
So both my dads play different roles. I am Robert Kiyosaki because I got a rich dad and I got a poor dad.
Literally, when you
They
said
both got
that,
bread.
that was what connected in my head. Like
They
pause.
both
literally.
have they both have money. They both they both have money. They're both successful. They're both retired military. But and we can get into this conversation. They're both pastors.
Interesting.
So I'm a
Wow. Wow.
so I'm
That's
a
hilarious.
PK. I'm a PK on both sides.
That's his kid. Yeah.
Then my mom, this lady that we're speaking about, is a first lady and evangelist and all up high up in the Kojic realm. And she's also sits on one of the boards for the that Eastern Star stuff, the Lady Masons.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all it is. Bunch of ladies, they just traveling around fucking each other's husband and wives. That's all they doing.
Yeah.
No bullshit. That's all. I'm just gonna keep it at that. A
Yeah.
thou wow. That's all they doing.
Oh man.
That's all they doing. Right.
Yeah.
So that's really what's going on, and I already know it. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but with that being said, this is who is withholding this level of information from me, and she knows me. She know like if it goes left, Vic will tell you. If it go left, it's going all the way left.
Yeah. It ain't no
Because
halfway.
me and this gentleman also went to defend a young lady that had been sexually abused by a soldier. You remember
Sure,
that, bro?
sure did. I was just telling Gina about that the other
It
day.
was
Like,
more. We had more gun within 2 minutes. One text message I made. We had more guns in that little Toyota Echo than could
yeah,
damn near fit. We couldn't even get no more niggas in there. One phone call. My homeboy called me. He said, man, somebody just touched my baby." I said, "What?" Hey, bro. Yeah, yeah. Bring all of it.
really, that wasn't no cap,
And
no
we was
cap at
at
all.
Vic's. I'm going. That nigga said, "I'm going. Come on, shit,
Yeah,
for
because
real." But
it
they
was
don't make niggas like that no more. They don't make niggas
no,
like that no more. That's the problem.
yeah, it
But
was,
but
it
this
was,
what I was. This the point I was getting to, bro. When we reconnected, and you helped me literally deconstruct. I don't need counseling because I just needed a conversation because I'm fucking already smart, right? I already have knowledge of self. I've been studying myself for the last 40 months of paralysis. The first 1 year after my second surgery, I had to lay at 10 degrees or less. I couldn't even sit up. So all I did was just read books and study myself. Right. So I just needed when I talked to Vic and he told me that shit, he broke that shit down, told me who my wife was, who her mama was, who daddy was, what kind of draws they were. I said, nigga, you done cracked the matrix, man. But guess what, bro? And then I realized my true value. You know what I did the following month? I went and closed on a bar in Barbados, bro. Revamped the whole thing because I was like, I'm Captain Stepdad. I can just leave whenever I want to and come back.
mm-hmm,
You're
yep,
not even beholden. I don't even consider myself beholden to the same standard of a raggedy nigga. You can't talk to me no type of way. You can't raise your voice at me. I'm not doing no type of disrespect at no time, under no circumstances, period, because I'm not going to admit any of that. I'm not going to do it. You cannot do it to me. I don't give a fuck what happened in your past or what traumas are leading you to want to be disrespectful. If you do it, we're going to have a problem. And that's it. And that goes for me and her as well. I can't just he can contest. I can't just go all. I just call my old lady bees and stuff like that. Why would I do that? You have to be crazy to be with a nigga like me anyhow. So I don't want no smoke. You dig what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I don't even we don't even have that because I know all of the love languages. Everybody trying to learn Spanish when they go to Puerto Plata or Costambre or Punta Cana when they because I got property over there too. Ugh. But look, everybody want to learn a little Spanish, but they don't know their wife's language.
Come on now. Come on now.
You don't know what she like.
Yeah.
You don't know when she changed her perfume, right? You don't know if she got ingrown hairs from when she's shaving. Why you ain't get her the
Yeah.
Brazilian, right? Do she like to scrub? Is her skin sensitive? Can you look at your old lady and tell her when she need to drink more water,
Yeah. Come on
right?
now.
Wow.
Man, baby, your pee stink. Your broccoli got you fucked up. You got your pH off,
Yeah. Oh, you had that
right?
asparagus.
Come on,
Wow.
man. Like this is I
Wow.
know my person all the way around, inside out, backwards. You dig what I'm saying? So once I have that, then I can come out here and really deal with full level of accountability because I know it ain't shit out here for me. It's at the house already.
Yeah. Come on, man. Like,
Yeah, that
Now,
is wow.
what I
Like
do,
just
now
thinking about this.
am I gonna use my intellectual property and my articulation to increase my financial well-being? Of course I'm gonna do that.
Mhm.
Does that sometimes involve ladies? Yes, but there's no static at home behind that,
Yeah.
right? I got a female staff for one of the operations that I manufacture, and guess what? It's all chicks, and I don't hear no static, right? Most of the time. So I mean, yeah, it's kind of cheating, but it was like this prior to me being paralyzed. But now she just watches me so much more out of care and concern to make sure that I'm straight. Because I do way more than half of these lame ass niggas out here that stomach work and got two kidneys, nigga. And you know, they complaining about, yeah, go ahead, follow them. They complaining about going to work because they got COVID and shit. My stomach don't even work, hoe ass nigga. And I just took my baby for crab legs because she made the dean's list, pussy nigga. And this your kid. So, but so
Oh my
hold
god!
on, wait.
Put a fire, like shots fired.
yeah, hold on, yeah, hold on, yeah, you get the shots
My
fired,
bad.
man.
Oh,
Of excuses, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like,
And Vic's always been a man of honor, and he's never made excuses. So that's why I fuck with Vic. There you go, baby.
I
hey,
love it.
hey, I look, you know, it ain't different when other people
Hey,
talk about it.
we about to make a lot of fucking money. That's all I can tell you. I hope y'all like bread, because I
I
don't be
can't
want to,
wait.
Man, look, if they ain't down, and by this time, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be too late. You're gonna be a customer next. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm in the car with my brother, my sugar, my liquor, and this we go to all my hospital appointments together, everything, bro. One man army, and we rolling. We don't need nothing else. He got all the motion,
Man, the world runs on
and we
brotherhood
going
for a
forward.
reason.
We ain't bullshitting. And guess what? He's a stepdad too, and the baby call him daddy too. And the other nigga, and guess what? He be riding his stepson around in an Audi R8 and sending pictures to the nigga pops. That's crazy. That's fucked up. That's what this nigga did.
Wow.
That's what my little brother's doing, right? I don't live here. This his Maybach, Vic. I don't even live
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
He got a fleet of the exotic. He got a fleet of the exotic cars, man.
Man, you know the
He picked
stepdaddy.
me up. I fly. He picked me up, and boom, we get motion, and then I'm back at the airport, and I'm gone.
Yeah, man, you know, like the whole stepdaddy schematic is that
It's hot, bro.
if you got a break in your life, right, where another man comes in and has
Uh,
to assume
uh,
the responsibility and obligation for you, eventually, as a man, when you mature, it becomes a pay it forward type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And it is built off of honor and respect. You know, now we've gone away from that, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Because in the past, it would be, it was more, I think the black community has to have the stepdaddy as part of it because it's a lot of men and women.
Everybody was locked up.
Everybody
Everybody
was
was locked
locked
up. Who
up.
was gonna raise the kids?
Yeah, and if you don't step,
I don't ride past and let females have flat tires on the side of the highway, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
not that type of guy. So I'm like, damn, like where the gentleman ain't anymore. Gone. You know where they at? Bent over another nigga. That's where they at.
Mm-hmm.
Getting
Yeah.
they pushed in. Getting their dookie pushed in. That's where
Look, the
these these sweet here, bro.
Breaking up a little.
yeah,
You said
hey,
what?
I'm gonna mute you for a second till your stream catch up. What you got to say, Ashley? You
I mean,
know,
I
Okay, bro. All right. I'll just what I'm listen. I'm
I wanna hear from you. Like, you were talking about how
we're gonna
stepfather.
connect. We're gonna listen.
hold up,
That's
go
my
ahead,
brother right there. So we locked in. We locked in.
man.
Period.
Hey, man, I
All right,
love you,
bro.
bro. Hey, good seeing you, man. Appreciate
Thank
You
you
you.
know
so
it, man.
much
Love all the
so,
time,
so
G.
much for coming. Thank you.
We locked in. We locked in for sure.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro.
Bet.
See you.
Bet.
What do you think about that?
That was phenomenal. Like, oh my God. He is like just another underneath the umbrella of accountable masculinity, right? Like, he is the face of just everything that you stand for, right? And he's another version. It's just really good to know that there's so many masculine men in the world that really step up and they don't have any problems with doing what needs to be done regardless of whatever is going on in their circumstances. He said he don't even have a stomach for real.
Yeah.
And there's people out here complaining baby complaints compared to him. This is the type of masculinity that I love that you brought to this stage and this platform because we don't I haven't really seen, I haven't had a chance to even dig into the things that he's doing in his platforms and stuff. And he said he only had like a thousand followers. Most people, most like high power, wealthy men like him, they're not as loud either. So it was just really incredible to have him here. Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Yeah. It's like I tell you,
Wow.
that
Oh
like
man, Ron said, Ash, what did he say? That's a grown man chop it up session you just was in.
yeah.
Literally the pleasure and the honor of being in this right here,
Yeah.
right now is amazing.
Because it has to be seen, you know what I'm saying? Because like if it's just me up here and I'm just talking, it's just individual self-promotion.
Mm-hmm.
It had the optics are different, you know what I'm saying? Because like, is this man just making up this concept and then just playing a character,
Right.
But like, it don't get more authentic than that. He got a ton of stories to tell that, you know what I'm saying, that you can imagine if, like, if we had a long discussion. And his story in itself is, you know what I'm saying, amazing. And it's a movie, like,
Sounds like it.
yeah, like most men that's got purpose,
Yeah.
They have game, you know what I'm saying, and experience, and it's not about transactional outcomes, it's about transformational. See, when you hear about what somebody's gone through, it puts your situation back in focus. You mad about filling out some paperwork, not getting a text back, not hearing, you know what I'm saying, what's going on,
Listen, when I met you, I was a complaining little Nancy. And I'm not saying I had a lot of complaints, but I had these baby little fucking complaints. And then after some time, I don't even complain. I don't think I've had one complaint on the phone with you about anything in like maybe 3 weeks. For real. I stopped doing that because I realized you telling me and speaking to the missus, your wife, other things, like other circumstances, like my life is not hard. Why am I complaining? What is wrong? Like, there's nothing really wrong here. Let me pivot and focus on not being attached to the trauma, but being attached to the things I really want. And I think women don't go in that direction because they want to validate so much this trauma, or men too. They want to baby complain about little things. We got big stuff to do. We got too much to do.
Man,
you know what I'm saying? And
way too much to do. Way too much.
Yo, the call we had tonight prior to this.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Look, it's that's why it's time to like show up and you have to have men out front, even if stepdaddy coaching is, you know what I'm saying, like if it's gonna work, it has to have men and women involved, because like if you just put my face up here, it's just another guy on the internet with some talking points and how he feels about whatever. But like the women have to be refined by what the men are saying, and then the men have to be refined by what the women respond to. So we have to, so that's why I keep saying in my talking points that men should only pay attention to women that respect them.
Yes.
Everybody else is just noise. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, Cabby came on! Yeah!
What's up with it?
Yeah, I could be on the bottom. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm being left.
Yeah. What's up with it, brother?
What's up?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You got?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Yeah, you want to bring your followers to the stream and hang out?
Let's see here.
And that's the other
follows
thing
right here.
Yeah, like you can do it that way, but as far as like stream to your audience on the actual StreamYard, you want to do that too?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. See,
right. What's
the
the title that you have on here?
We just got the Stepdaddy Coaching Even Show. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So the other thing is too, the reason why Stepdaddy Coaching is so important is we need married men to be having a logical conversations. You're not seeing a whole lot of married men having the conversations about solving the gender war, because I'm here to end the gender war. That's what I'm focused on. You know what I'm saying? Being very intentional about it and making it make sense with people that want the same outcomes, you know? And because if we're going to, how long are we going to keep sitting back being in, you know, like circular conversations where it's just about who was right and who's more right than the other person? Because everybody's going for whatever level of understanding they got. And so like outside of myself and then bringing more men that understand what I'm talking about and what I write about, it's important that women get in the room with us and absorb this firsthand and then tell the story, because that's what sells it. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it real, because you can get on this internet and say anything. You can say you make 6 figures of everything, and you know, like the tier for whatever it is very, very low. We're talking too much about characteristics and not character. So
talk to us about that. Characteristics would be
what it looks like.
Okay, so like how much you got and the aesthetic of things. Okay, got it.
What it looks like and what it is ain't the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be in you. It can't be on you. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, y'all heard that?
Yeah, because a lot of these dudes ain't really players, and they ain't never had their way. You know what I'm saying? They've always had to wait. They've never been able to make their own way. You know what I'm saying? They listen to music and then they leave. You know what I'm saying? They want to go do some twerking. You know what I'm saying? But the type of music they listen to, we'll listen to the same song, and in their mind they twerking. You can tell by the way that they have conversations. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got a pair of zesticles. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
So I think that it's just time for men that really mean well for Black people in general to take ownership of that space and stop listening to people that bring more problems to a discussion than solutions. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think that we are already the leaders that we've been waiting on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't getting no more. We have to beat them. Man, we 40-some years old. We keep listening to these pussy ass niggas crying about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't get a text back. At what point are we gonna take ownership of that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you on that. I definitely feel you on that. It makes a whole lot of sense, man.
It just does. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time for us to be real candid, you know, about this. You know, the education's there. And if anybody ever get out of bounds, they can always, be redirected to a book or something. You know what I'm saying? They're already in the right place. It's time for people to recognize that they students. You don't have the experience. The experience that you got means you need to listen. Because I know I still need to be taught some things. You know,
Mm.
just because like me and Cabby had a conversation today about some of the things that's brainwashed us into, oblivion in so many ways. Like the mind construct of what we got going on. Poor sexual discipline is truly a virus that's in the mind. And if you're fighting to try to disavow that and just say, oh, it's just something that's just in nature and man's supposed to do this and man's supposed to do that, you apologizing for the problem. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see the value in that at this stage of what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of people being a slave to their emotions. And as far as like the principle, like I said before, what I believe a stepdaddy should be a coach, an honest broker, someone that comes in and then doesn't have to. You can't tone police me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not wrong.
Right.
I'm not wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you don't like it. Because a coach don't give a shit if you like something or not. Do what I said. Do what I said to see if I'm lying. Do you want a different outcome? You know what I'm saying? So we have to be as candid as possible. We ain't got to put on the show no more. You know what I'm saying? Because what for? It didn't get us anywhere but to this conversation anyway. That's how we got here. Too many shows been put on. You know?
That's a fact. Too many shows. Yep.
Yeah, man. That's just how I've been feeling, man. Like, fuck it. Let's just get to it. You know, Kevin, what you got, bro? I'm glad you was able to pop on here for a second.
Man, I just had to make a quick little video about this Jay-Z situation. You know, the little thing that I exposed you to earlier.
Yeah.
I went ahead and made a video about it because, um, the thing is that I think a lot of what we run into as far as this whole gender war and stuff like that, I think it has its beginning in a little bit of what we've been presented in hip hop and also in the media that we take in as far as what we watch, right? I think that's a lot. That has a lot to do with the division amongst men and women. I don't think it really has to do with just us naturally. It's just what we're putting in or what we're taking in as men and women. If you look at our media and what feeds black people, men and women, just think about how toxic our media is, how toxic our movies are, how toxic our shows are, how toxic our music is. Think about that. Nothing is really expressing love anymore. So when you're talking about this division between men and women and what we're going through today, think about it. I mean, when was the last time you heard an R&B song that talked about love and talked about getting together, talking about being together, talking about marriage, things like that? You really haven't heard anything like that for a minute. And then think about, the movies. We used to have things like Love and Hip Hop, or Love and Basketball, or what's another one of my favorites? Let's see here. What Neil Long? What's the joint with Neil Long and Old Boy in there?
You talking about The Wood?
Not the well, that's a good one too. But yeah, that's a good one too. But Love Jones, like Love Jones, those movies right there. We don't feed ourselves with that anymore. Now we feed ourselves with complete bullshit. That kind of and pretty much you are what you eat. You know what I'm saying? You are what you take in. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So we're taking these things in, and what do you see on the men's side? It's pretty much in we started, I think, as men venturing away from women before women started venturing away from us. When we went outside the boundaries and saying or calling out women bitches and hoes, that changed the dynamic of black love. That really did. You know what I'm saying? Because in no other art form and no other genre of music do you hear the men calling the women out of the name.
Yeah.
I want you to find me a country song where a white man is sitting there picking his guitar My wife is a bitch, and all I do is get her to suck my dick. You ain't never gonna hear it. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
never gonna hear it, bro. I mean, Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi was talking about love and struggle. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about that. You know what I'm saying? Any type of rock, you're going to hear that. You're going to hear some type of love story. And at the end of the day, man, you just don't hear any other genre of music, where the men are coming after the women like that. You really don't
Yeah.
hear that. So I think, to be honest, I have to be honest, I think we really started, we started the ball rolling. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to this
Can I
division
say
right
this
here.
though?
Go ahead.
So I get that, but what households did those men come from?
Oh, we already know what type of household
Yeah,
those men
it's,
come from.
You know
no,
what
hey,
I'm saying?
no, that's exactly why she's here, though. No, but talk about that.
You
As
know,
she
they come
talk.
from. So there's 3 households. I did a post today, and I don't even remember it by heart really, but basically there's the single mother household, there's the
Mhm.
woman as the head of the household, and then there's the
Right.
street. They
Okay.
all have the same outcome, which is
Mhm.
feminine men that are in their emotions, and they think that everybody owes them everything because they didn't get anything or they didn't get enough. And you have music that's produced that's really just mad at their mamas because of their households. Either them 3 households they usually come from with all that music that's being produced. So including the movies that you see being produced, including every media stream, everything you're talking about. These men
Mhm.
are coming from certain households, and they're all
Right. And I
you
get
know
that. I get that. I understand that. I'm just trying to figure out why men who weren't raised in those particular type households, why did we gravitate
got it.
towards that type of
Yeah,
stuff? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, why did we start taking that in? Because, I gotta say I'm guilty. I was raised in a two-parent household of, with love. You know what I'm saying? I saw the great, I saw the bad, I saw everything.
yeah.
Amongst a man and a woman. But I also listened to Too Short. And I took that in. You know what
I
I'm
got
saying?
I got a theory though for that though.
Uh-huh.
What's your theory? Let me hear it.
I think when you got 2 parents, you have a more balanced approach about what's entertainment and what's reality.
This is true.
Mm,
Right.
Because like I think we too hard on music sometimes. I understand that it takes a certain level of intuition, intelligence to process what's real and what's not. Because we'll talk crazy about how music has such an impact on the way that we see the world, right? But movies are visual optic, and people make decisions off of that too. You remember that movie
Absolutely.
Heat, when they was robbing that bank
Right.
with Val Kilmer, who was it, De Niro, and who else was in that movie? But anyway, yeah. And then I remember somebody tried to actually rob a bank in California doing the same thing, and they got in a crazy shootout with the police, armored up, and all of that stuff. So there's always been somebody that's going to imitate something on the screen that's in
yeah,
production, right?
Absolutely.
right.
But I think
Hmm.
the major impact, though, the difference is children absorbing that content at an impressionable age.
Very
You
much
know what
so.
I'm saying?
Right.
And
Hmm.
Yeah.
if they already in a chaotic household,
Mm,
it hits different because the imagery is even more true. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
for someone that's in a household where you can separate art from entertainment from reality, they're gonna tell you, hey, that only exists inside this space when you got your headphones on. It's
right,
only in there.
right.
It's only on the screen. That's not everyday life outside. And then
Mm,
if you take that same perception, because you remember when the school shooter community used to
Yeah.
say video games was driving that, they blame the video games. They blame rock music. It's always been some form of entertainment that's bared that's bared the responsibility for causing the trauma and chaos that comes after, right?
yeah,
Our community is no different. However, it impacts our community in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like
Definitely.
it,
yeah,
it sets us back way differently than it does anybody else. Like
yeah.
remember that mass shooting in Vegas a few years ago? I think it was 2017. It was like
Yeah.
how many people got killed? It was a whole bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I might have the numbers wrong, but I remember vividly being over 200 some people. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. I got you.
And I'm being very conservative, but nobody considers that on the scale of the Holocaust or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just one time, take everybody out and move on. The Pulse nightclub shooting in 2016. You know what I'm saying? And nobody is blaming any type of genre of music. You know, and I'm not pointing out the diversity of it. What I'm saying is that we can't do the same things that they do without it impacting us the same way. You know,
Yeah.
and it's like if you already are operating from a deficit, trying to go find another example, it's not going to help your case move forward. You got to deal with what's in front of you, and the truth is that's why we have to draw lines of separation between people that want to hurt us and that people that don't even respect themselves, and then expecting them to add protection to the community. It's kind of crazy.
Can I say this? What is that movie with? What's the name of the movie with Tupac and what is
Poetic Justice?
No, not that movie. Where he, oh my God, he was just he got the gun from his friend and
Juice.
Yes.
Juice.
Sorry,
yeah,
it's
Juice.
totally.
Yeah.
So somebody did a reaction video of that once, like a week ago. I seen this, and they broke down the different households. Like they paused the scenes, and where one of the friends, like he came from a 2-family home, the other friend came from a single mom. Da, da, da. Tupac in the reaction video was staring at the TV with all this gun and violent stuff, and that was his parent.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, the streets is the most dangerous parenting, obviously, because it has no reality to say, hey, this is wrong from right. You just come up with your own wrong from right. And that's when you start thinking you God, you could do whatever you want, say what. Yeah, that type of person usually has to, if they don't deal with authority, then they're going to deal with it, with somebody that has a uniform. And then they're going to be in the same fucking jail cell or whatever as those that are like him or her.
That whole story that you just said is why in rap lyrics you hear streets is a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So the streets are a bitch. What kind of men does it raise?
Bitch men.
Yeah. Bitch ass niggas. Bitch ass niggas. That's right. So the reason why I brought that subject matter up is, like I said, as far as like media is we have to do training not just in the real world. We have to do training in our pretend world too, to create some type of utopia that we can look forward to. Because if you watch love stories, you tend to want to be in love. But if you watch, a bunch of toxic shit on TV, you're going to pretty much say, well, that's normal. You know what I'm saying? That's normal behavior. You know what I'm saying?
And the algorithm is going to pick it up and keep giving it to you. That's another thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, now that's a totally different beast, sister. Like you talking about social media, and I don't know if you guys saw this in what was a week and a half ago, while Australia banned social media for kids under the age of 16.
I saw that.
For a reason. They did it for a reason, right? And look at how you respond. You said good for them, because you want the same thing, probably. You're like, yeah, I want the same damn thing, because it's dangerous, for adolescents who have to try to figure out this world and cipher through all this bullshit. What you just said, Ashley, they create their own world through algorithm. So if you watch, and I've explained this on this show plenty of times, if you watch a specific clip for its entirety, algorithm picks up on that and says that's what they like watching. So you create your own reality, which is very dangerous.
Wow.
Because there's no objecting what you're thinking, because your algorithm won't bring up anything that objects what you're thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. So it messes with children real bad, but it messes with adults real bad too, because if you get on this tangent of just feeling sorry for yourself and really listening to people talking about their bad experiences in relationships, the more you flip this phone, the more you're going to get that, and you're going to get that information from a different face, from a different voice. So by the time an 8-hour day is over, you flip through your phone and gotten 60 different people telling you 60 different things and 60 different frequencies, 60 different voices, 60 different faces, but they're telling you the same thing, that love ain't shit. I don't need no woman. I don't need no man. fuck the world, I want to be alone, and at the end of the day, that's where you got this red pill community that we're talking about. And I admire Vic for actually saying that I want to do something to bring men and women back together, because at this point the algorithm has divided us.
Yeah.
If you're one of these, I'm a married man, and by accidentally watching a whole video in its entirety about men saying or stating the reasons why they don't want to be married or be in a relationship, I watched the entirety. I didn't find myself going through what we call the death scroll.
Right.
And I'm looking at this and I'm looking at this, and next thing you know, I'm looking at, hold on, I've looked at an hour worth of videos of men talking about why they didn't want to be with women. And I was like, I'm whole married. Why do I give a shit what they think? You know what I'm saying? So I shouldn't give a
Right.
shit what they think. But
Yeah.
I got caught in the algorithm. That's how dangerous it can be right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you have the awareness to stop yourself and to think. Critical thinking skills is not something that most people, generally speaking,
Right.
have. They don't
Absolutely
even
not.
have. What kind of reading level they got, Coach?
7th or 8th grade. That's,
Nah, it's lower than that. It's fourth. The average
Oh.
person's fourth and fifth.
man, it's not going up. Whatever number it is, it's single digits.
You know? Oh wow.
And,
Wow.
and you know, and you
Yeah.
know what I like to say, man. Low level learners reproduce
Yeah.
with low level learners and
Mm.
make more
Definitely.
low level learners. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
You're not gonna get high level thinking people to out of that formula. There's a formula in everything that repeats itself.
Yeah.
It has to have certain ingredients because it ends up doing the same thing and it performs the same way every time. And
Mhm.
this mindset, it transcends race.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like like the books that we've been talking about. You brought up was it black redneck
Black
white
redneck, white
redneck,
liberal. Yeah.
and the behavior that black people are operating off of is basically the sharecropper class of black people.
Right.
It was, ruled over basically or supervised by the former slave owners. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Slave
Yeah.
owners and what's the field hands, the slave drivers, so to speak.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're dealing with the remnants of that. But I always say everybody's a victim of circumstance, but it's up to you to take ownership of your circumstances. If you're complaining all the time and you're bringing problems to every solution, you're living in victimhood and you're paying property taxes over there. You know what I'm saying? And you don't own nothing. You're renting space.
You're
You're
renting.
renting space, and they
You're
can
renting your own self, your own fucking circumstances. So you're gonna rent everything outside of you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Renting men, renting women. Like we're no longevity, no
That's
ownership, no management.
the transactional relationships for like you're the micro, right? And what's happening inside of you comes out of you through the people that you run in and out of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're going to go replicate the same chaos that you walk around with other people.
Yeah.
So when I start talking about the low level learner thing, people could get offended all they want to, but you can't expect Albert Einstein to come from people who think 2 + 2 = purple.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. You can't ask for that at all.
Yeah, poor
Can't ask for that at
expectation
all.
management. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so the question that I always had, and it is a question that I think can start this healing process that we're looking for, right?
Mhm.
Why are we making so many mistakes as far as like choosing our significant others? Why are there so many bad stories about what happens in relationships and marriages? What's leading us to choose that significant other that's no good for us? That's the question that I have.
Oh,
I know.
that's a go ahead.
Okay, well, Ashley, roll with it, baby.
And this
Roll
is
with it.
It's real simple. Because honestly, answers, real truth is simple. It's not a whole bunch of things you need in terms of truth. Sexual and emotional discipline. People lack that. And they are, in terms of even the foods that they consume, the social media they consume, all of that kind of stuff feeds the undisciplined nature. Like we all just out of the executive functioning and our thinking and our frontal lobe and how to break concepts down, critical thinking, we're animals. Like we have animal like biologically, programmed ways about us. So for women, we we attune more towards, making babies. Like that's, and even if we don't consciously have sex to make a baby, that's what can happen, right? It just is what it is.
Right.
If you don't
Right.
have,
Absolutely.
for men,
Absolutely.
their biological default is to pop their seed. You know what I mean? Just give it out. So we're functioning at a very low level because we don't have sexual and emotional discipline. And I'll say this, emotional discipline is key, but we have to start doing something about the sexual discipline first. It's kind of like if somebody's in a bad situation or they're in a toxic, relationship and the man is beating her, she has to leave first to then deal with the emotions. She can't sit and deal with her emotions while she's getting beaten.
Right.
You know what I'm
Absolutely
saying?
not. Right.
So I feel that the most important aspect of the evolution of us as a people is to be sexually disciplined first. And that's lust. So that's going after foods that are sugar driven. Anything that's going to feed an addictive pattern, right? You have to say no. Like you have to learn delayed gratification, for real. You have to be okay with being okay with no. And we don't have enough authority, bringing it back to the single parent household or the streets or whatnot, where women are running the show. They don't, women more, if anything, say yes. Okay, you want that baby? Okay, no problem. You want, and I'll say as a mom, as a woman, I like to say yes more than I like to say no. I don't like being the villain, right? A man, however, in his masculinity, don't give a fuck. I said no because I said no, right? There isn't no need to explain. So a woman is more, bendable, flexible, bendable, yes, yes. And it produces a society where we don't have boundaries, where we don't have sexual and emotional discipline, and where we are pleasure driven. And that's our, and we justify it in many different ways.
Okay, so when you say pleasure driven, this is another question that I have right here. Of course, you've probably seen all on social media or other places where you have a complaint from men stating that women are choosing what we call the bad guy, the thug, whatever, over the good guy. Where does that come from necessarily? Is that a pleasure thing saying, well, I just like the way he looks. I like the way he walks. I like his swag. What exactly is that?
It's all ego.
It's
See,
all
I'm
ego.
gonna give you an example.
Come on,
I
Ashley.
came from I came from a family on my dad's side that is respectable, upstanding men. But I was convinced, because I moved in with my mom for a lot of my adolescence to young adolescence, and I saw how my mother saw men, I was convinced that men were the bad guy. And I actually had a baby with a deadbeat. But I had an upstanding dad, brother, cousins, uncles. And no, we're not perfect. But I would say this, the influence of the mother is huge. And I was talking about this with my babe just a while ago. Because I feel, and I have a hypothesis I'm going through, but you can have an absent dad and still that child be raised in an upstanding environment if that mother is sexually and emotionally disciplined. And why I say that is because I'm an example of that. Because not only will she have respect for men, and even if she doesn't want to get married and maybe that's not for her on the cards, she's going to have male mentorship and masculine presence in the child's life in some way, shape, form, fashion. It could be an extracurricular activity that you put your children in, just, karate where you have male mentorship, but she's going to have a respect. Even when you go shopping at the grocery store, she's going to know her place. If, she needs help with something, she doesn't have a problem with asking a man. So even if a man isn't in the household, because I know some people will say, well, what do we do if that doesn't, if that's not our story? Well, I'm telling you, my daughter, and I'll end here, we had a parent-teacher conference a few weeks ago, and my daughter had written down, I feel safe with the adults in my life. And she doesn't have men around. But she sees mommy have dated men, and she also saw how I dealt with disappointment or my expectations not being met. I didn't attach my worth. I didn't make men out to be the bad guy. I learned, I growed, I elevated, I learned more respect. And now I'm moving to Texas where I'm going to be around masculine men, around coach, around the team, and, my babe and all of that. So I say all that to say, I hope I answered your question, but yeah, that was that was the gist of it. I didn't mean to be long with it, but yeah.
Right. Well, you said ego, correct?
Okay, okay.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Ego,
Wait, I didn't finish that part.
right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
So a woman's ego is birthed from her mother because
Hmm.
the vanity aspect, right? Vanity is about external things, either your achievements or your looks. So how well does a man look when it comes to, does he have status, money, is he a gangster in the streets, whatever she believes is of esteem, she's going to then get that from her ego. And she's going to say, even if she's a victim, oh, I love, I'm down for him and stuff like that, but he treats me like shit. No, you treat you like shit because you don't love a person, right? When you are so super transactional, when everything you do is in your mind, you're thinking about, okay, what's the outcome going to be for me? You
Right.
don't love a man that way. But a lot of us have also misrepresentation in terms of definitions. We don't even know what love is and what it is not. So we're
Hmm.
thinking it's something, but it is not. So women are more ego driven because they are slaves to their vanity. And they get that from their relationship and their connection to their mothers.
Hmm. Okay.
Come on now.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me
Okay.
get you a round
Okay.
of applause. Look, that's how the question is supposed to get answered. You know what I'm saying? This
Right.
this is why women are so important to be in this conversation,
Thank you.
because
Hmm.
there's nothing that she said that can't. It's real simple, easy to apply. It ain't complex. We talk about how concise a solution actually should be, because
Yeah.
it's really based on the choices you make in most
Hmm.
cases. You know,
Mhm.
Hmm.
like I said, your circumstances are one thing. You're a victim of your circumstance, meaning that you come into the world. It takes you however long it takes you to get oriented. You remember, like on Terminator, when they get teleported back and they looking
Hmm.
around, and
Yeah.
I'm butt naked. I got to go get some clothes. You know what I'm saying? You can't get mad because he got teleported naked. How long are you gonna stay naked? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
So then you have to
Yeah.
figure out, get your bearing, and you know what I'm saying, and understand what you're supposed to be doing next. A lot of us are largely winging it because of the lack of social infrastructure, because of whatever systemic things that had an impact on us. Okay, got it. You know, now let's fix it. Or we're
Hmm.
gonna fix it, or we're gonna stay here and keep complaining. So
Ashley, do you find yourself? How old is your daughter?
She's 7.
7. Okay. So when you get to the point where you're going to be talking to her about boys, will you go into great detail of demonizing these horrible men and what they look like? Are you going to teach your daughter how
Hell
that
no.
looks and what that? So
That's
you're
stupid.
not gonna teach her?
No, no, because first of all, she's going to be around masculine presence to have an actual blueprint and an example of what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But aside
Yeah.
from that, it's not to her benefit to see men as as evil or an
I
enemy.
didn't say men. I didn't say men.
Oh, I thought you said,
What I was saying is, I was saying, are you going to teach her the difference between what she needs to be looking for in a man and
oh
what
yeah,
she needs to stay away from? Is
I'll
what
give
I'm
you an
saying.
example, and I tell her the difference now. Why wait? We were on the bus the other day, and this
Mm-hmm.
guy's playing all this trap music. He has his pants down on his ass and all this kind of stuff. I literally said to her, I said, "You see this man right here?" I said, "This is a man you don't want." I said, because
Okay.
he's listening to come from he's raised by his mom. He don't got no man. Like, I just totally went down. She was like, yeah, mommy, because, it's loud and inappropriate. And she said that as an evaluation. So I
Mm-hmm.
teach her right now, right now.
Okay. I got you. Because I was gonna, when my daughter gets older, I'm gonna teach her to date nerds. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like them other
Yes,
niggas ain't even an option.
yes,
If the boy ain't got a 3.4, 3.5 and above, and in
yeah,
AP classes, nah, don't even worry about it. Not saying that nerds can't end up being piece of
I
shit,
get you.
men
Yeah,
as well, but
yeah,
the likelihood is much lower. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
setting the
So,
baseline.
yeah, right. You're setting the
yeah.
baseline and everything. And now we can go into, when she gets old and we start talking about this thing, we can get into, do they come from a single parent household, things like that. And that's not going to be a deal breaker. If she says, well, nah, he's just with his mom, and he doesn't have his dad at home. Because I know a lot of great young men that I've coached, that that I've been around, that have came out of single parent households. There's a certain way that it looks. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Um, you got one side of single parent households that just look this way, and another side of single parent homes that look this way.
Right.
One looks much better than the other, and I think that's how strong
Yeah.
the woman is, and how much she's willing to put her son around different masculine men. My
Yeah.
cousin Ashley, actually got the same age, same name as you. My cousin, my little cousin Ty, which is her son, she was a strong mother, and she put him around strong masculine men all the time, whether that's me, whether that's his father, his stepfather Sean. She even had this boy flying an airplane at like 10 years old or something like that. She
Wow.
put him around a pilot. You know what I'm saying? Pilot took him up and showed him how to fly an airplane. Needless to say, he graduated from VMI, Virginia Military Institute here in Virginia, which is a highly accredited school. Graduated with zero student debt because he played football there, and he's a highly intelligent young man. He's a successful young
Yeah.
man today. So it can happen. I got another brother, Wayne Rhodes. He came from a single parent household, and he's an electrician now, making six figures,
Right.
working everywhere in Virginia. So my boy Henry, my boy Josh, they're both raised by a single mother, but single mother put them, like I said, once again, strong
Exactly.
alpha men. Put them around their grandfather all the
Right.
time, as much as she
Right.
could. Put them around their grandfather, and they learn from that. So just because you're a single mother doesn't mean that your child is going to be a complete failure. That's not the
Right.
case.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you can, yeah,
right. Sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna
yeah,
say, me pointing out like, hey, he was raised by his mom, and you see, I also pointed out other things like he doesn't have respect for himself because he's wearing his
right,
pants down there and all that.
absolutely.
So
Characteristics.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so if a man, however, I wouldn't even know he was raised by a single mom if he was masculine presenting. It wouldn't even matter because he's masculine presenting. You know what I mean? He's respectful. So that
Mm-hmm.
was just to note, like, hey, I want you to know that there's a direct link, though. There is another household where the single mom household looks like this. She comes from a
Right,
single
right,
mom household that look like this, but it's,
right,
yeah,
right, right, right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can just tell that if there's a man in the family at all. It's just
yeah,
like,
Absolutely, absolutely. You can.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's what, like, one of the things, like what Mr. Reup said to you, said, "Oh, I can tell she got her daddy," when he was talking to you,
yeah,
because
Mm-hmm.
there's men that have been responsible, and in their masculinity, handling business,
hmm,
solving problems. They look at what's the highest risk, and what's the what the risk versus reward. What effort is going to take for me to be able to assert myself, and then solve the problem, because you can't you can't lean on feelings. You're like, would you trust would a woman be likely to trust a man that has the same level of anxiety as a woman?
no,
No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, we're not afforded the luxury of being scared, flinching, or submitting to our own fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't get it. You don't get the option to. Like, it's a luxury for real to actually be in a puddle of fear.
hmm,
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
it's unnatural for a man to stay in that. So, generally speaking, a lot of these guys, I see Jason Wilson, awesome mentor, created I think he has his own mentorship program where he deals with kids and helps the fathers be better fathers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he to me he's part of the stepdaddy, you know what I'm saying, element that our society needs. And he helps the parents, and he tells the children the level of weight that they're putting on their parents by their behavior,
Right. Right.
because there's a lot of parents that work too much. Remember that episode we did about men can men tell women no?
yeah,
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
remember.
Because a lot of the times men are brought into being yes men for a whole chunk of their lives, because you don't know anything, and everybody's trying to everybody tells you men no. Nobody gives men anything, and then you get the men that have never been told no.
Right.
Hmm,
And those are the ones that, no, you can do this. They'll, that, in your ear.
Yeah, I
So
broke it
same.
down in my post today. Those
Yeah,
two men, and then the
there it
street.
is.
That was the third one.
Yeah.
The yes man, and then wasn't told no, so he don't, care. He manipulates, usually a womanizer or whatever. And then the streets, the guy that's that attracts women that are in extremes, that need ride or dies, that are very dangerous. You know what I mean? So
Ashley, you spoke on the two things that you felt like needed to be addressed as far as when it comes to love and us coming back together. You said emotion. You said sexual discipline, right?
yes,
All
yes,
right. So emotional, sexual discipline. You have to be sexually disciplined before you are emotionally disciplined. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
I would say that yes, yes,
Okay, okay. So me and Vic were talking about this. I think on an earlier date we were talking about the importance of teaching our young black men how to be sexually disciplined and why you want to be sexually disciplined. Because I don't think we do enough as adults teaching our young black men how important it is to save yourself for your significant other. I was taught that at an early age, and I'll tell you what I told Vic. I have as many sexual partners as what's on my hand right now.
good for you.
Two. I literally got two sexual partners, and I'm not saying that to brag or boast or anything like that.
I
No,
get you.
what I'm saying is that I was told the importance of Kavik, when you lay down with a woman, there's going to be a potential that you get her pregnant, and you got to be ready to be a father because I'm not going to watch my son be a deadbeat out here. That came out the mouth of my mother and my father.
Yeah,
So they both set that standard. That they both set that standard. Hey, you out here slanging whatever, you got to make sure that you're ready to take care of whatever it is that you got to take care of. So any woman that I laid down with, I had in my mind that there's this potential that there may,
yeah,
there may be a birth out
yeah,
of this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of like being taught that and being taught that sternly at a young age kind of like kept me balanced.
yeah,
You know what I'm
What age
saying?
were you when they had that conversation?
yeah.
My
That's
mother had that conversation with me about 12, I want to say 12 or 13. My mother and father had that. My mother, they had it at a different time. My mother, I want to say about 12, 13. My dad, probably somewhere about 15, 16. Somewhere
okay.
around the time where he knew his son would possibly be sexually active. So, they both taught me these wonderful lessons. My mother went into
The
great detail
details.
in how she taught me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because my mother showed me the book of back then you had to look at things in books. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? A book of certain STDs, what they look like,
yeah,
gonorrhea,
yeah.
herpes, all these different things. So Kavik, this is the possibility. If you sleep around with a dirty woman or a woman that's not taking care of herself, this is what possibly may happen. And I'm going to tell you, one more thing kind of influenced me to like say the hell with, just sleeping around like that. The movie, the band played on,
Hmm.
that hit
Shut
me
up.
hard. I watched that movie as a young child, and I don't think I had any business watching that movie. That was the movie about the epidemic of AIDS, the AIDS epidemic.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so when I watched that movie as a child, I was like, "Yo, that can happen through sexual transmission. I can die from this." Then Easy E, after that
Man.
Yes,
happened,
Yeah.
I
and we
remember.
found out, I was like, "Yo, you can
Whoever
die
did
from
it,
this
yeah,
shit. No, thank you." You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
yeah,
just people being real with me and being exposed to these things as a young person, it really does slow you down to be kind of educated about what you're doing. And
yes,
it helped. It definitely helped because when you don't have a lot of sexual partners, you don't have a lot of spirits attached to you. You know what I'm saying? You really don't have a lot of connections to anybody. When I walk out here in the streets, and I live in a fairly small city, right? I walk out here in the streets, I don't have to look and,
I
gawk
mean,
at people
right,
and stare people in the face that I've actually had sex with because I know that my sexual partners are limited. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with going to any club, any Walmart, any Target because I don't have to look anybody in the face. You know what I'm saying? That I've shared that intimacy with. And intimacy is real. That's something that it should only be a certain amount of people that have seen, should only be one that have seen you naked, that know what your penis look like. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
felt that. You know what I'm saying? It should be limited, not judging the people that have had quite a few sexual partners out here. It's okay. Ain't nothing you can do about it. We can't go back in time. We can't change it. What I'm saying is for the next generation, you know what I'm saying? Hey, daughter, son,
Yeah.
be careful with your body. Your body is special. It's unique. It's only one of them. You know what I'm saying? Don't just give that out to everybody.
And
Everybody shouldn't have you.
it's interesting because I didn't know that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was raised by the streets. So
Hmm.
my whole thing is I'm trying to figure out what my moral compass is. I had a best friend. I have a tattoo right here. We were friends for 12 years, and she has the same one on that side. I'm not her friend anymore, but growing up, she was my moral compass. She came from a 2-parent household. So I
Okay.
thought, okay, let me listen to her. But what accountability is that? She's my same age. So I was sleeping around, all this kind of stuff. And you know what? You said something key. When you go outside, you ain't have nothing to worry about. Ain't nobody checking for you. There's no drama. There ain't nobody come, oh, that a cabbie. I have just now, before I got on this phone call, I had blocked my ex-boyfriend. And we were only together for 3 months from his regular phone. This is maybe a week after he called me from a whole number. That's annoying. That is dangerous
Right.
too.
Yeah.
Showing up at my house. Like, do you understand? I get what you're saying. And as a woman, it's actually more dangerous because I'm physically more vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just pop off and go, oh, you don't want to answer me?
And see what you just said. It could be way more dangerous for a woman because if you actually got some juices flowing down there, you get what I'm saying? If you actually got some juices flowing down there, like, yeah, that could drive a man crazy.
That's
It
what
could
I'm
drive a man crazy,
saying.
right? So,
That's why
yeah,
they pulling up like a straight animal. You know what
exactly. He
Oh,
probably
really?
he probably outside behind a bush right now.
Please don't encourage him.
I'm saying? Look,
He might be watching this.
you got some more of that coochie brisket.
Oh my God.
These girls out here serving cornbread. Ashley, where you at, yo?
No, so
That's insane. You know, when you really think, bro, that
is
right there, that whole scenario is why I
Yeah.
talk about sexual discipline so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah.
Because it is a mental illness to be a slave to your sexual urge.
it's a mental illness.
It's a mental illness. It's gotta be shameful at some point. Because just
Yes.
like think about how powerful sexual discipline actually is, right?
Yeah.
And what it does in shame. You got TV shows that pivot off of people who don't know who they pregnant by. You got the foster care system with reckless parents. You got due to reckless parents, abortion topics, anything that deal with population control, school, property taxes, the regulation of gender. All of this stuff is pivoted off of sexual discipline. If
Right.
people were able to vet better, that's the first thing that we need to do. See, one of the first topics that me and Cavi talked about when we first opened up these discussions was like, I like to pit arguments against each other so we can prioritize arguments. What's like everything's important, right? Until if everything's a priority, then you have none, right?
Right.
So if you think something's important and I think something's important, yeah, and Ashley thinks something else is important, and then we all are just working on what's important, what's important to us. We're not solving the problem. We're working in different directions, right? So I put up. I narrowed down the arguments to sexual discipline, obesity, and I think the other one was sexual discipline, obesity. It'll come to me. Racism, because these are the things that plague our conversation so much.
Yeah.
Okay, sexual discipline is more important than all of those because we didn't create racism construct and we don't control it. It is no different than arguing about the war on drugs. It's no different than saying the media. There's no accountability because there's no one person that we can go walk up and say, stop the racism, and then it stops, right? Obesity is limited to people that's only big. You know what I'm saying? So that's a self-inflicted situation. I'm not saying it's not important, but I don't know a bunch of obese people. So I don't know how to have that conversation with those particular individuals. So on the next tier, it's important. And you can be I ain't gonna say, I don't even like saying you could be a victim of obesity, because who rolled up on you and slapped you with obesity? You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But
Mm-hmm.
but with sexual,
right,
there's different tiers of self-inflicted wounds. You know what I'm saying? But sexual
right.
discipline, all self-inflicted. All self-inflicted. I keep saying this, man. You fuck the wrong people, you fuck your community, and you fuck yourself in the end. Because you're gonna go make a kid with somebody that's not fit to be a parent, and then the child is gonna be in the street getting raised, if they survive long enough to rob you. That's the circle of
Mm-hmm.
life with poor sexual discipline. Because how many outcomes is it? And it's kind of like, it's disingenuous when you got children yourself, and then you out here still performing recklessly with men and women that can't help you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's our greatest issue. That is our greatest issue, because we can fix that. We could just
Yeah.
say no. We could just literally say, like the same way to say no to drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can say no to having sex with the wrong people. Put some vetting criteria in front of you.
It's
Mm-hmm.
interesting that you say that, because sexual discipline is saying no to drugs, is
Yeah,
saying
Yeah.
no to that food that makes you obese, is
Right.
saying no to everything else. It's a pleasure thing. It's all about arresting the biological, desire to be an animal like, have an animal like relationship with things. So it's having boundaries, saying no, delayed gratification, being able to say no to the things that you were saying yes to, that created an identity where your ego was driving was in the driver's seat. It's being able to say no to your family's expectations. It's being able to say no to men and women that you used to date. It's being able to say no to texting that ex, or even, when I answered his phone call, I automatically blocked him.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? To have that ability is to be sexually disciplined in
there's
all
no
ways.
room. There's no room for anybody that can make you compromise your own. I ain't gonna say make you compromise, but even consider compromising, because nobody can make you do anything. And I
Exactly.
think that's the first thing you do to take your power back. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's very, very key when we start talking about these things. So the power of doing the right thing is, it starts first with which self-inflicted wounds are you know what I'm saying, that you're trying to avoid. Because people all the time talk about self-preservation is key, but they're not talking about the threats to their own safety, you know.
Yeah.
So how are you going to preserve self if you don't take the threats in your environment seriously, the ones that bring harm to your body, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like,
Mm-hmm.
even during all of that political conversation about, who's in office gonna handle abortion and take that right away, man, look, just don't have no kids unnecessarily. Stop making kids with the wrong people. That's just
Right.
it.
Right. I
But you
want
got
you to I want you to share this screen with me, and
can you zoom that in for me?
yeah, I think I can zoom this in. Hold on, let me see if I can. I done
There
lost
you
my
go.
dad. Can you see it now?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, so I done lost my whole damn mic. Anyway, but this is the reason why I break things down through science too. People don't even know this. So DNA within sorted cells amplified by PCR for Y chromosome sequences was considered predictive of a male fetus or evidence of persistent male fetal cells. In the 32 pregnancies, male DNA was detected in 13 of 19 women carrying a male fetus. In 4 of 13 pregnancies with female fetuses, male DNA was also detected. What does this mean? This means that when a woman gets pregnant by a man, she carries his DNA for up to 27 years. Did y'all know that?
I've heard of it, but the way you just broke that down, that just gave way more context than what I've just been hearing. Because I understand the PCR, the pair bonding, and all of that conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's,
So when
mhm,
people think that people are talking about when we talk, can you fix this screen or however you had it
I
done
got
before? But when people talk about spiritual bonding and things like that, people say, "Oh, those people are crazy." No, we've broken this down through science. So, like I said, if a man gets you pregnant, you can be carrying his DNA inside your female body for the next 27 years of your life. What does that mean? Like, you really got to ask yourself, what does that mean? I know, Ashley, I know, but luckily you had a little girl, and it may not last as long. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Go ahead, pacifier.
Hallelujah.
so at the end of the day, we have to start breaking things down to younger people scientifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think about if someone told you that, if when you were a woman, or a young girl coming into her womanhood, at an early age, hey, if you get pregnant by this man, just remember that you're going to be carrying this man's DNA for up to 27 years. So he's going to be attached to you. You know what I'm saying? So we always think about, why do women at sometimes have this certain attachment to, the father of the child. That's because he's literally in your body,
Living
attached
in
to
you.
your body.
Ah!
His
Wow.
DNA is attached to your body. So we
Oh
know
my
this through science. So it's no longer a theory. This is something that we know through science. Sex is not a game. It's not a game. We are literally giving each other, things. You know what I'm saying? Man
Yeah.
gives you a seed, and also he gives you his DNA, is what he does. So, like I said, when women tend to be so emotional over the father of the child, or if people want to call a baby daddy, there's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? There's obviously a reason for that. Which is crazy. I wanted to see if there was something that we received from you guys when it came to,
Whew.
that, and there's nothing. Now, it is temporary. There is a temporary aspect to it. When having sex with a woman raw, when we ejaculate, you guys return the energy back to us through the same way that the sperm came out. So you guys are feeding us nutrients. You didn't know that? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. You
ew.
guys are feeding. It's literally a connection. It's literally like a damn light plug. It's literally a connection. We're feeding it. It's feeding us. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's deep. Sex go deep. Sex
That's
go
that
real
group.
deep.
I say that's that group chat cat. When you got too many bodies, you know what I'm saying? If you hold
so
on
I
to
so
one,
so I have thought about that. Like,
it's a group chat.
if you got a woman that's had 5 kids by 5 different dudes, are all 5 DNAs?
Oh my God.
Mutant,
Ah!
Right, dog.
X-Man,
Right.
booger.
Wow.
Right. And then you got to also think, if a person comes and gets this woman pregnant, is any of that DNA that's in her, that's from that last man,
That's
is
a
that
bad
going is
smoothie.
is that going to
Oh,
go into the baby that's in the woman?
That's a
You got
bad
to ask
smoothie.
yourself that question too. So your baby. See, people don't want to look at sex from a
Wow,
scientific
Kevin.
lens, because when you look at sex from a scientific lens, it really wakes you up. It really wakes you up, and you're like, damn, I thought it was just a simple friendly fuck. No, no, you better
Wow.
wear a fucking condom, because
Hey,
you're exchanging information. That's what you're exchanging.
hey,
DNA's information.
text messages.
Text
Right.
messages. Oh shit.
Right.
Wow.
Get left on red.
Right.
Oh man, this conversation was amazing, y'all. What?
Yeah, yeah,
That's why I said Daddy coaching is needed.
yeah.
Text
Yeah.
Text messages.
Oh my God.
Man, it's necessary. Like that's what I want to focus on when we have these discussions is the sexual discipline piece of it, right? Because I think that's why it's so important that married men are having this conversation, because you can still mentor from proxy. Somebody's gonna find this video and they get a whole lot of information out of it. They can get multiple opinions from men. They can say, damn, they all on the same sheet of music. It doesn't really matter. Like if you come in and say, well, those guys are wrong. Do you have the outcomes that say that you're right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the only thing we grade you off of is outcomes.
Yep.
So the very essence of the conversation is to present a different articulated angle from men that are responsible for the women that they are already in a relationship with. You got too many people that do not have a relationship talking about marriage. You got too many people that only have a relationship that is affiliated with a transactional connection that's talking about marriage. And then the people that discourage marriage or talk down on it, they never seen a healthy relationship. And the only then on the man and the woman side, they're both only speaking through complaints based on the women that they were raised with and the ones they had sex with, not the women that can't attract. And the same for the men. You know, you only know about the men that your mother was around,
Yeah.
and then you still, by programming and learned behavior, were attracted to the same type of men that your mama couldn't even get to marry.
Yeah.
So you've been a victim of circumstance, but this conversation is so you don't have to be a victim of circumstance anymore. You can take some ownership to what you did and didn't understand, and now you can refine it, and then you can actually commit, because commitment takes discipline. Commitment is discipline, and that's part of the reason why most people are promiscuous, because they lack commitment. They only committed to how they feel. They are enslaved by their emotions, and this is the first step in breaking the mindset that has kept you from getting what you want. So I greatly appreciate Cavi you popping over. Reese, he probably still watching. Shout out to my man, Mr. Re-Up. Man, Ashley, what you got to say?
Listen, this conversation helps me also realize how important my resume is. I wouldn't even feel, how do I put this, qualified or confident to be in this conversation if I wasn't married to the father of my child. If I'm gonna be honest, when I lived with my mom, it's the only time I was raised by the streets, but I had my daddy when I was with him, right? He had his own mental breakdown and stuff like that as a black man in America in corporate and stuff, and that happened. But if I didn't come from, if my resume, if I had a son instead of a daughter, like just certain things I'm glad that God allowed me to go through so that my resume didn't look too crazy. I did have a little bit of I had a promiscuous background as well. But even in that, it was still in some sort of boundaries. I was never no side chick, and I was, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like a
Could have been worse.
monogamous, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was not from relationship to relationship, but commitment was important to me regardless. So, but yeah, ladies, your resume matters, because when you are finally, in the presence of masculine men or just dating, a masculine man, you don't want to come with a whole bunch of shame. You want to have confidence. You know what I mean? You want to bring something to the table that's not just trauma, and you definitely want to reserve your body for the right
Definitely, definitely, definitely. I mean, I agree with you on that. You definitely want to reserve your body for the person that you definitely love. Because what is it called? Oxytocin,
oxytocin.
oxytocin, whatever. Which is
Oxytocin.
which is the love hormone. That's real, and people don't understand that that's real. Like it's a connection that brings a male and female's bond closer together. Like I said, that's why they call it the love hormone. So,
That's for women. For men, it's best vasopressin, and the way that men
oh,
attack.
you gonna teach me? Okay, all right. Say that again. Say that again. I thought both had it, but go ahead and say that again.
Not that they don't. It's just oxytocin is more prevalent because we have more estrogen.
Yeah.
Vasopressin is more prevalent for men because you guys have more testosterone. So the way you guys bond is more territorial, more conquering. Like, this is mine. I don't want to share it, and it takes up to 3 months. So between 2.5 to 3 months for a man to actually bond and to produce enough vasopressin. So the whole 90-day rule, woman, it actually is to your benefit, because it allows him to produce enough testosterone, produce enough vasopressin, so that he's wanting and willing to want to provide, protect, conquer, and all of that. So it's important. So for women, though, it takes a second for us to attach. It's different.
It's different, and see, people always ask that question. Why can't women behave like men? You just answered it. You
Chemical
know, so
frequency.
yeah, that's as simple. See, break it down through science.
That's
Throw all this wives' tale shit out the damn window.
hey,
Break this shit down scientifically and why we
Literally.
ain't supposed to do what the hell we supposed to do. It ain't got nothing
Okay.
to do with no type of holy book, no religion, nothing like it. Just break
Nothing.
it down science, and you will see why God would prefer us to do something a certain way. You know,
Yes.
if you believe in such a thing, you
Yes.
know.
look, that is a great way to wrap up, man. And like you guys have blessed the platform with nothing but game and you know,
She
receptiveness.
done taught me something, man.
Look at you.
I'm
Look,
gonna go over here and look this up right now after I get off here.
yo. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's been another great episode of the Internet Stepdaddy, and I'm your stepdaddy because I'm a step ahead of the father that you never had.
Woo.
We out.
That.
All
Yeah.
right.